2,000 members of MS-13. Think of those numbers, 16,000, and arrested over 2,000 members of MS-13. We've also deported a lot of the MS-13s out of our country. This week's actions by the Joint Task Force Vulcan is the most recent offense this has been a big offensive in my administration's war on foreign gangs, of which we came into this administration and we said, what's going on? We had gangs from countries that you wouldn't believe. More than 20 of the criminals we indicted and arrested in the past 7 days were illegal aliens. Yesterday, for the first time ever, the Eastern District of Virginia, thank you very much, indicted MS-13 leaders on charges of terrorism. So we have the MS-13 leader on charges of terrorism, and that's a first. Is that correct? Yes. We're using terrorism, which gives us extra strength. In New York and Nevada, 21 MS-13 members and leaders have been indicted on charges including murder, kidnapping, and drug trafficking. The DOJ has also announced that it will seek the death penalty for a bloodthirsty MS-13 leader responsible for the despicable killing of 7 Americans, including 2 teenage girls. Over the past few days, the DOJ and DHS have made several arrests at high levels in these cases, including several immigration arrests. And I want to thank Chad Wolf for working along with the FBI and with the Attorney General. They've worked very closely together at the border. And the border, as you know, is setting new records for allowing people in that are allowed to come in, allowing people in illegally. We believe the monsters who murder children should be put to death. We seem to have quite a good agreement on that. These people murder children, and they do it as slowly and viciously as possible. We will not allow these animals to terrorize our communities, and my administration will not rest until every member of MS-13 is brought to justice. We've done a great job with MS-13, but now we're stepping it up even to a higher level. This has never happened before. There's never been any move like this before. Much of it's already taken place, otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it. So when Biden and the radical left want to open borders for MS-13 and others, we want strong borders. We want, as I've said, we want borders. Without borders, you don't have a country, and we have a great country, and it's coming back stronger than ever, from job numbers to every other number. It's coming back stronger than ever before. So we're going to have a great third quarter. We're going to have a great fourth quarter, and next year is going to be one of the strongest years economically we've ever had. So I'm going to ask A.G. Barr to say a few words about the MS-13 and what we've done and what we're doing and where we plan to go. And next week we're going to have, I think, a very exciting news conference, because we're going to be talking about some of these cities where the Democrats running them have just lost control of the cities. So that'll be very interesting. Bill, please.
When I came into the department as Attorney General, the President made it clear that one of his top priorities to reduce violent crime in the United States was to destroy MS-13 in the United States. And what we've been in here discussing with the President is part of that effort, which is Project Vulcan, or Task Force Vulcan, which is targeting the higher level players in the MS-13 operations in the United States. MS-13 is somewhat unique in this sense. They have the street savagery that you would see in a gang. It is not driven by commercial interests the way, for example, the mafia traditionally was. It's about honor of being the most savage, bloodthirsty person you can be and building up a reputation as a killer. So this is in some ways is a death cult. And then they use the terror that they cause by their savagery to extort. And they've gotten increasingly into human trafficking and now narcotics trafficking. But that's a sidelight to some extent to their basic purpose, which is violence, terrorizing people. Also, unlike a street gang, they're highly organized as a transnational organization. They operate with hierarchy, with programs. They call them programs. Think of it as a crime family, essentially. And then under each program, they have different cliques. They have programs and cliques operating in the United States. While their center of gravity is in Central America, there are thousands that have come into the United States illegally. They're virtually all illegal aliens. They come in now although it's harder to get across the border, but traditionally they've come across the border into Houston and then fanned out across the United States into different centers of activity. Today, we were talking with the president about 3 actions we took. Melgar Diaz was indicted in the Eastern District of Virginia. First time we've used terrorism charges against a member of MS-13. He was responsible for activities in 13 states, 20 cliques in the United States. He was also the person who would greenlight assassinations in the United States. The orders come from El Salvador, or the request to assassinate people would go down to El Salvador, and he would greenlight the head. We also took down, this was an HSI case in Las Vegas. We took down the Hollywood clique, which operated not only in Nevada, but also in California and in the Eastern District of New York, again, Long Island. And we took down 21 members and the leadership of that organization. And then finally, these are the New York indictees. And then finally, I announced that we are going to seek the death penalty against Alexei Sayans, who is a leader in the Eastern District of New York, a leader of MS-13 there. The president made a trip to Brentwood, New York earlier in his administration, and he met with the families of victims that had been killed by MS-13, including the family of 2 young girls who were butchered with machetes. And the person that we are seeking the death penalty against was involved in those murders, as well as the murder of 2 African Americans who they